Hello Libra, welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. So let's see what's going on for Libra. Looks like there may be some time that you need to take as a timeout in order to recover from something that's on your heart, from something that is heartbreaking or some sort of heartbreak that you may have recently had. The reason I'm saying that is that this three of swords here is heartbreak, it's betrayal or sadness. It's like having something heavy on your heart. So when this appears and then this card following it, this card is a card of taking time out, rest and recuperation. I call this my R&R card, or it's I often say it's taking time out to fight another day, you know, taking a step out of the battle. That's what this card depicts, is a warrior who's in armor and he's resting so that he can gather his strength. This is Four of Swords. So, and also one of the things I point out in this card, in the setup, is that there's Three of Swords and then Four of Swords. So it's a natural evolution of when this has happened, this would be the next step. If you've experienced any sort of heartbreak or betrayal, this card has inherent 3 energy in it. So if there's been any third wheel or anything to do with, you know, heart matters or coupledom and there's a third person, take some time out to reflect. Really use that time to rest, gather your strength. You get new insights when this card is present, because in the Rider-Waite there's a picture of a sword that is on the casket that this guy is laying on, and it's sort of like, and in some ways it's this fourth sword here in the distance, is that you get new ideas as you change your perspective and you take time to recharge. So that's going to be the opening theme for you at the beginning of this month, Libra. If there's anything that's hard on your heart right now, causing you emotional distress, take time out and rest, because you need to recharge and recharge your batteries and recuperate. It's saying that there may be a way in which you're not feeling at peace here. Temperance is a card of being at peace, finding the middle road, finding middle ground on things, sometimes compromising. You can see the angel here is taking 2 cups, which represent 2 hearts, and is like pouring the water back and forth and kind of creating a new thing through the synthesis of those 2. So see too if you can get a new perspective. When this card is in the reverse, it's saying you're not being moderate about something, or you're not finding ease or peace, or your serenity is blocked. You're not experiencing your full peace and enlightenment that you could be, or that things are wobbly or unsteady when this card is in reverse. And for Libra, you know, you guys are the scales, and you guys do a lot of this where you wobble back and forth, or you weigh things, you know, you really consider things. So try to not go to extremes when this card is in reverse. That's one of the meanings of temperance in reverse, is when you're doing things in an extreme way, either on one side or the other. Try to see if you can see both sides of things. Try to see if you can find your inner harmony through this rest. And try not to be impatient about things. It may take time for whatever's happening to happen. This is 7 of Coins in reverse, and 7 of Coins is the farmer card. This is a card of planting something and waiting for it to harvest. There's inherent waiting in this card. It's like letting things ripen, letting things develop. It's a card of assessment, of considering things. It's taking a step back to look at the situation, to evaluate things. So when this card is in reverse, it's saying you may be being impatient about something. You may be wanting results right now. And that, I believe, may be contributing to your lack of peace, your lack of serenity. When you're wanting answers right away or wanting results right away, it can send your equilibrium off, because that impatient energy is very charged. So try to, my first interpretation for you, see if you can access calmness. See if you can access patience, reflection. Both of these cards are about reflecting and looking within, taking time out to just consider things. So it's saying you may have a hard time with it, but it may be exactly what you need, especially if there's been any heartbreak, if there's been anything that's on your heart where you feel betrayed or sad or disappointed by anything. That's the message I'm getting for you, Libra. I'm seeing that you may need to employ some forgiveness towards an air sign, especially if it is a younger person. And since you are an air sign, Libra, this could be, employing forgiveness towards your younger self. This is Page of Swords, and Page of Swords is someone who stands up on a mountain and defends what he believes. So I think of this as like a very zealous college student, someone who's like, I know I have all these ideas and thoughts and morals and beliefs that I just want to defend, and he's willing to spend the time just holding up that sword and saying, this is what I believe. So see what you can identify with in this card, because you are an air sign. Is there a part of your younger self that you're not accepting, that you're not, that you don't feel is like supporting you? Are you identifying with your younger self, especially in regards to any situation that may have involved betrayal or disappointment? Sometimes with this card in the reverse position, linked to this card, this could be like, I can't believe they would do that to me, or I can't believe this is happening, because this card is such a sort of righteous or zealous card of, this is how things go, this is how things ought to be, this is the truth, that when this is in the reverse position, it's like, I can't believe it, things don't go this way, it's not right, it's not just, it's not fair, it's not in accordance with the truth. So I'm kind of seeing this as the younger side of yourself that is sort of offended by whatever's going on here. But you may need to employ forgiveness here towards yourself and or others who are involved in this situation. This card, Judgment, is about how we use judgments in our life and how we are judged and how we judge others. And in this card, I always call it letting go of the baggage of the past. This triumphant fire burns away everything that's old. And these are souls that are rising up from their graves. They're leaving everything that used to be behind, and they're gathering new life through this spiritual fire. And a lot of times I read this card as forgiveness, because that is what allows the baggage of the past to be let go of. It allows us to move on in new life. It allows situations to, in a way, be reborn or reignited or renewed. So this card's talking about renewal. This card's talking about renewal. And this card, I'm kind of getting a sense, Libra, that this represents you. Unless you have an air sign child, or there's a young person who is either Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius who's around you, that they might be kind of throwing a fit, or they're not seeing things the same way that you are, or that you're being torn apart from them. If that's not the case, then I am seeing this as you, Libra, and I'm seeing this as the younger part of yourself. So you may need to employ some forgiveness to yourself in that way, or even a willingness to let go of that part of yourself that is really righteous or has any of the archetype qualities of Page of Swords. And you can look that up if you want to see more about that. Page of Swords is very zealous and very idealistic. So, it may be that this situation is throwing off or helping you graduate from any naivete that you may have brought to the situation. So it's basically, this whole scenario is working towards enabling your wisdom and your knowledge. One of the things that I'm seeing with this, it's interesting here that we have Ace of Cups in reverse, surrounded by Temperance in reverse, which is also a Cups card, and then Tower here. All of these are in reverse. So this is kind of like a shock to your system. Whatever is throwing your equilibrium off, it's a change that you're not wanting or expecting, but within that, there's something that is really going to renew your heart. This card is all about creativity, joy. This card I often call my cup overfloweth. My cup runneth over. Because as you can see, in this card, the cup is so filled with water and with spiritual waters, emotional waters, and this is the angel, the dove of peace. And so it's like saying your heart is completely fulfilled. It's completely filled with joy and with love. And this lotus is a symbol of enlightenment. So between this dove of peace and this lotus of harmony, enlightenment, it's really a card of feeling fulfilled emotionally, feeling absolute capacity for joy and love. And that in the reverse position, it's kind of aligning for me with this temperance card. Where is your peace? Where are you finding equilibrium? Where are you finding joy? Once you correct your instability and any excesses of looking at things in a black and white manner, if you can sort of see the middle ground of things, you may be able to open up and access this Ace of Cups, which is that your heart is filled. So I just want you to consider that you know, maybe there may be changes happening in March that you may be kind of fearful of or resistant towards, but within that, there may be a real opportunity for a new beginning, for your heart to be totally filled. This ace is always a symbol of a new beginning, and it's a new beginning for your heart. So I sometimes also read this card as new love. So don't be resistant to or anxious about whatever's going on that you're having to kind of find the middle ground about, because it can be the key that unlocks this new love for you. I also see with Seven of Swords here, there's someone who's embodying very me behavior. That's what this card is. Seven of Swords shows a man who is stealing away 5 swords, and he's really just of the perspective of, what have I got to do to take care of myself? What have I got to do? I'll cut corners if I have to. I've always got to look out for myself. I've always got to be the one who takes care of things and makes sure I get mine first. And he's really just considering himself in the situation. It's very risk-taking behavior. I sometimes call this card putting your head in the tiger's mouth. So consider who this might represent, whether it's you or someone else, and see how that relates. You know, both these cards are 7 cards. This is 7 of coins, and this is 7 of swords. So is there something that you or someone else are being impatient about and just saying, let's get it right now. Let's just harvest these things early. It doesn't matter if they're ripe or not. Let's just make sure we got them in our pocket. So I'm going to say with these 2 cards showing up near one another that don't be, or be on the lookout for anything that seems like it's happening ahead of its time, or that it's like grabbing something before it's ready, or grabbing something that's not quite available, because that's the kind of energy that this has. And that, too, is part of what is surrounding your heart not being ready to be open and receive this new love that wants to pour in. You also have another ace here. Notice 2 aces in reverse. So what is the beginning, the new beginning that you may be fearful or have doubts about or be resistant against, is offering you this new beginning, this new vitality, new motivation, new energy. This card is Ace of Rods, so it's just like the baton twirler out front in the front of a parade. You usually see someone with a baton out there, or if you think about running a marathon or like a relay race, this is the passing of the baton, that the different runners, and whoever has the baton is the active one, the one who has the current active role. That's what Ace of Rods means, and it's usually a new beginning. So what is it that is preventing you from accessing this new beginning, both in terms of passion, of vitality, of action, as well as of love and joy and emotional fulfillment? Both of these cards are surrounding this card of, you know, be careful that you're not just thinking about, what am I going to get out of this? What do I have to do to take care of myself in terms of whether it's at anyone else's expense or not? How can I cut corners? This card, you know, look into 7 of Swords and see who that might represent, whether it's you or someone else, because That is at the core of why both of these are in reverse, why these aren't available to you yet. They're sitting under the surface. They're like little seeds waiting to happen, but you have to address whatever's going on here in order for those to correct. I also see Knight of Cups here. This is a message of love. This can also represent a water sign person, so Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. And Knight of Cups is someone who is very, he's a knight, so he's always playful, romantic, or clever. But he's one of the softer of the knights, or the jacks. He's got Hermes helmet, winged helmet, which is messenger energy. It's saying, I have a message of the heart. There's someone who wants to share a message that there is about what their feelings or their emotions or what's on their heart. So it could be that towards the end of the month that you share a message that's on your heart, or someone shares a message with you, you receive a message of love. Notice too that this is in line with resting and reflecting on things, and then also forgiveness. Often that will open up heart messages. Or it could also literally depict someone who's a water sign. So someone who's Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio could show up in your environment with a message of love. That could be the way that you receive it. This may be related to the dramatic change that you may or may not be resisting or fearing. The reason I suggest that is that when cards are in reverse, it usually suggests that they're in shadow. There's some sort of doubt or fear or resistance that's trying to hold them under, or that it's not coming to the surface, but that energy is there. And Tower represents sudden or dramatic change. Now, sometimes this can be for the better. The reason I'm saying that is that it ends up with Page of Rods here, and that's all about optimism, willingness. It's being motivated towards something. If you can imagine that a young person is carrying this rod, that's exactly what this picture is about. So this sometimes can be a fire sign, so that can be Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, but I'm kind of getting that it's you, Libra, after this dramatic change happens. Once you release your resistance to the change that's happening, I get optimism, motivation, willingness. I get that you kind of get this new vitality, because this is young person with fire. Rods represent fire, and it means like regaining your vitality, regaining your motivation, regaining your let's go out and do this kind of attitude. So if you feel that you're kind of knocked down or feeling sullen, try to employ forgiveness. See what it is that you can do to avoid any activity that involves me behavior, because that's going to unlock a new beginning for you. And then once you get through this big change that erodes old structures, you're going to have this sort of new motivation, new optimism. I see that for you at the end of the month. See if you can be patient on things towards the beginning of the month. See if you can recorrect your equilibrium and your balance. A lot of that's going to help by just going within and taking time to reflect. So that's my reading for you, Libra. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again, as always, for watching. Yours in the stars.